Hey everyone, welcome to Bobini Creates. My name is Jeannie, and in today's video I'm very excited to be able to explore a new brand of pencils with you. So this is a brand new company, Woomer, and they reached out to me and asked me if they could send me a set of pencils for my honest review, and I'm getting ready to dive in and do just that. When Woomer reached out to me, they expressed that the reason that they believe that their product deserves a try is because of the incredible affordability, the exceptional light fastness, which they actually did provide a blue wool scale testing and data report, as well as the rich and creamy colors. So I have not tried anything. I've just opened the box on camera. As you can see, it came with this sleeve, and what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've snipped it so that I could get into the inside of that, so I could see the color chart that they had provided. So it's the back side of the color sleeve. They have the color Lightfastness ratings here from 5 to 0 basically, and so anyway, that is the inside of the cover, and the back side is a representation of the colors. So what they're saying is easy to blend, 3.8 millimeter soft core, break resistant lead, wide range of colors, and richly saturated pigments. So we'll take a look at that. Now, I have not even tried them. You saw me do the unboxing. They're pre-sharpened. Let me just grab one of these out of here. Easier said than done. Let's take a look at this pencil up close. So what I'm seeing is made in China, and I'm seeing the Woomer logo, and it says colored pencil. And then when I roll it over, I see a barcode and number and the Lightfastness rating on the right, along with the colored pencil number and name. Now, I will tell you that the pencil's beautiful. It's nice and smooth. It's probably got a medium to lightweight to it, I guess. It has that beautiful gold foil, but I have to say, just personal preference, I'm not a fan of the foil because I really struggle to read those. And what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably end up numbering these for myself, just so that for easy access, just because I don't have necessarily the best eyesight in the world. And also I will say that with this lighting, that may have something to do with it, but an absolutely beautiful pencil. It is pre-sharpened, but of course I'm going to sharpen it before I test them out, and it is a dipped end, so Yeah, that's the look of the pencil. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and swatch these. I decided not to use their swatch chart just because it's not going to fit in my little swatch book, which is 8.5 by 11. So I went ahead and I printed off just a blank cardstock so that I could swatch. And I apologize, I don't remember where I got this free swatch chart. I'll try to find that and I'll link it below if you're in need of a swatch chart. And so yeah, super excited to get started. Let me go ahead and do that. Sharpen these up, swatch them up, and I'll come back to you. I'm back, and I was able to spend the better part of the day getting to know these pencils. I've sorted through them, I've swatched them, I've colored with them, and we became good friends. So I feel like, you know, just getting to play a little bit, I can give you a better, I don't know, opinion, analysis of what I thought of them, and it's just my opinion. I did take notes. I wanted to be as complete as possible. So first off, let me just say that these pencils are available through Amazon, and I'll leave a link below so that you can take a look at them. At the time of recording this video, these pencils are currently $29.99, or in other words, that's 42 cents per pencil. So obviously, you know, very budget-friendly pencil. I'm gonna say a word about Lightfastness. It was very important to them, I think, to, you know, let everybody know that they have, you know, a pretty good Lightfastness rating. That being said, I'm gonna encourage you to do your own research. Do your own research to see if that pans out, you know, true for you. So they did send reports along, you know, with their invitation to try out these pencils, you know, before they had gifted them to me. I'll be honest, I am not a person that cares about Lightfastness ratings. My use of coloring pencils is just for fun, to color in my coloring books. That's where they stay. I don't display my pictures. I don't color portraits or anything like that. So, you know, my point of view is that, or my use for Lightfastness, you know, ratings is on the lower side, just because it doesn't apply to me personally, but it very well may apply to you. So definitely do your research. I did take a little bit of a look at that though. So on their chart, I noticed, let me just show you real quick, that inside cover, you can see that for each one of those, they have indicated like a 4 or a 3. You know, they've indicated the Lightfast rating. So it's right here on their color chart. Of course, it's on the pencils as well. But I did go through the set, and looking at my notes here, guys, what I noticed is from 0 to 5, there were nothing that rated 0, nor were there anything that rated 1, 2, or 5. So everything that they rated fell between 3 and 4.5. So that being said, I did take the liberty of counting up how many there were of each. So 3 pencils were, rated, a 3 rated Lightfastness rating. 4 of the pencils rated a 3. The 3 to 4 rating, they gave that to 3 pencils. The 4 rating, they gave that to 42 pencils. And 4 to 5 rating, they gave that to 22 pencils, for a total of 72 pencils. So that's all I'm going to say about Lightfastness. So we're going to continue from there. I'm sure if you're interested, you know, in the reports, you know, you could probably reach out to them and get more information on that. Let's see here. So I did, in my previous portion of this video, I had indicated that I was really having trouble seeing the gold foil labeling on that, and that is true. However, when I was able to get out of this filming lighting, I was able to read them much better. So I did want to kind of correct myself on that, that it's still a problem for me. I don't enjoy, you know, trying to sort of tip the pencil this way and that to be able to read the color. However, you know, better lighting is obviously going to give you a better result on how you read those. So let's see. One thing that's interesting to me is I like to know, you know, I think it's interesting, I don't know if you do, but does the barrel match the swatch? So if I were to think that I was going to get kind of a hot pink right there and I swatched it out, would I find that to be true? And quite honestly, yeah, this was called violet pink. I think they did a pretty good job of matching those up. So if I were just to look at this and grab a color, it's pretty decently going to match that. I found that to be the case. Now, of course, you're going to swatch because it's not going to be exact, but it's better than a lot of them I've seen. So that was kind of fun for me. I always like to sort of look and compare that. The other thing I like to look at is, are they appropriately named? And I'd say for the most part, yes. The only thing that I probably would say that I disagreed with, the light crimson, let me see if I can find that here. The light crimson to me looks more of a pink color, and crimson, I think of that as being more of like a blood red, like a vivid red. And so I didn't think that was necessarily appropriately named, but not too far off. The other thing, and I know that people see colors differently, but when I look at Cold Gray 4, to me that looks more like a warm gray. Like this looks to be more in the family, to me, of, you know, Warm Gray 3. I don't know. Could just be the way I'm seeing it, but I thought that was a little bit off. But besides that, I thought everything else was pretty appropriately named. The other thing I asked myself is, are there duplicates or very similar colors in this set? Being that it's only a 72 set, you know, you really hope that all the colors are represented well. And I think for the most part, yes. The ones that were the kind of the obvious standouts for me were the light salmon and salmon. And by the way, these two, I felt like they should have been flip-flopped. The salmon pink to me looks more like the light salmon should look. So those could have been flip-flopped. The other thing I would say is these remind me more of peaches than they do salmon. Salmon to me has more of a pink in it. So that would maybe be another one I could put in that category of not being color named correctly, perhaps. The other thing I noticed was that the manganese violet and the light violet look darn near identical. So I think those were almost duplicates. And then the crimson and chili pepper. So let's find those. There's the crimson, there's the chili pepper. There is a little bit of a difference, but not much. So, you know, considering that they're so similar, maybe those could have been placed elsewhere. So that kind of brings me to my next question, and that is there a good representation of color? And really for a 72 set, I'd have to say for the most part, yes. I feel like there's a good representation of yellows, and some of those are going to be found elsewhere, you know, so I feel like that was pretty good. Pinks, I felt like here, you could even maybe call that light cinnamon, a bit of a pink, baby pink, violet pink, you know, so yeah, there's some red, purple. I mean, so in that rose red, you know, that pink, red family, I felt like that was pretty well covered. I felt like there could have been a better representation of the oranges. So when I look at those, we have light cinnamon, we have orange, and we have pale vermilion. Light cinnamon, I think we can take that out of the orange category. But those two, and I was kind of bummed that I didn't see kind of a pumpkin orange, but when I got towards the end here and I was swatching cinnamon, I realized that would be a good replacement for like a pumpkin orange. But yeah, I feel like there's something still missing here between light orange or a dark yellow orange. Yeah, and orange. So just a little lacking there, but not bad. Let's see here. The blues I felt were a pretty good representation. Again, they've kind of got them. they're in an odd order, but the one that I didn't care for was this one right here, and it's the Caribbean Sea. I actually went over that a few times, and I don't know if you can see, but the color doesn't really come out. It's super light, and I realize even in Prismas you're going to get some of those blues that are super light, but I would have preferred a little more color in there for, you know, for a smaller set. Just my opinion. Let's see what else. The greens, I felt like, you know, pretty good representation of greens, including the aquas. The browns, I thought those were pretty good because they kind of come down in here and into the, you know, warm grays. I felt like that was pretty good. The grays, I feel like they were heavier on the warm grays. I really only see, I'm really only going to say the Cadet Blue and the Cold Gray are really the only ones that look like cool grays to me. You know, again, just my opinion. But for a 72 set, I really feel like if you were to sit down to color, you really would have pretty much, you know, everything that you would need. And they do blend well, so you have that as well to kind of create some additional colors, which I think is going to be a benefit. Let me just turn my page here on my notes and see if I had anything else there. As for sharpening, I was able to sharpen these to a really nice point, actually, and that was nice. I like a really sharp pencil, just to kind of show you. And they sharpened really well. They're not loose. You know, the lead is in there securely. They didn't break when I sharpened them. They, you know, and I used the Dull 133 if anybody's interested. But yeah, I was very pleased with that. And they don't seem to wear down, you know, fast or anything. And now, granted, it's a limited amount of coloring that I did after I did the swatching, but even still, here, let me adjust this a little bit. I feel like, yeah, I feel like that was a plus. I love a good, nice sharpened point. Now, in looking at these, normally I would look to see if the core was centered. You can't do that on these dip pencils, so I can't, you know, you can look at it this way, of course, but it's almost impossible to see if those are in there straight. So can't tell you about the positioning of the core. Let's see, as far as the swatching, I think the only thing I would say about that is color order. I really think you're going to want to reorder that, but you know what, that's not something that's exclusive to this set. I pretty much feel like most pencil sets, you pull them out of the box and they're not in the order that you're going to want them in. So just keeping that in mind. You know, that's to be expected, I feel like. So I wasn't, you know, I wasn't upset about the color order, but I did notice they were quite a bit different than I would place them. As far as the actual coloring with these and the swatching, okay, here's where I have to say that I was just really pleased. They're super smooth. They're easy to blend. And well, I said earlier, you know, in my little preview of these, I said something about the look of them remind me a little bit of Arteza. They do, in that they have that kind of high gloss finish, you know, and the foiling, although I think the foiling on the Artezas is silver, but they remind me of that. But for some reason, I mean, I think they're the same size and everything, but for some reason they feel a lot more comfortable in my hand than Artezas do. Artezas always feel bulky to me, and these just really don't. Again, I think if they're not the same, they're very similar in size, but For some reason, I just like the feel of these better. As far as the coloring with them, like, again, I'm going to pick on Arteza a little bit. Way better, way better. They're so smooth. Dare I say they're even creamy. They're vibrant, easy to blend. I feel like there's less filler and like that, more pigment payout, less of that combining agent. Yeah, filler, I guess. I feel like when I color with Artezas, I'm fighting that all the time. It just feels real sort of grippy, and these don't. These were an absolute pleasure to color with, and oh yeah, I just can't even say how much, so I really enjoyed them. It was a very satisfying experience to color with these, so I feel like the coverage was good. There were only a few pencils in going through this whole set. I made notes, of course, and the only ones that I felt like were a little bit scratchy, and when I say a little bit scratchy, I mean a tiny little bit scratchy. I'm being nitpicky here, but I found that to be the case with the cornflower, the burnt ochre, and the Van Dyke brown. So, you know, 3 out of 72 is all that I, you know, seem to have found a little bit of scratchiness on. That's nothing. I don't mind that at all. So overall, would I recommend these? Absolutely. I would buy these again in a heartbeat. No, these were gifted to me, but I certainly would. They're a pleasure, and beautiful colors, you know, it was just a really nice experience. So the only additional thing that I would say is I wish it was a larger set. You know, I look forward to seeing a larger set, and I'll bet, you know, since this is a new company, this is a new set, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a larger set or two, or, you know, it would be interesting to see where they go from here, but I would certainly look forward to that. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you have these pencils, let me know what you think, and, you know, yeah, just your experience with them. But I'd also like to say thank you to Woomer for reaching out to me. I was grateful for the opportunity to be able to review these, and, you know, I hope you guys found this helpful. It certainly was for me, because I really spent a lot of time, put a lot into being fair and accurate on this, so I hope it's helpful. So thank you so much for watching this video. Look for, in the future, you know, hopefully in the very near future, I plan to color some pages with this, so you can actually see what it looks like on a page as opposed to just the swatching. I did play with that off camera, but, you know, I wasn't ready necessarily to color on camera. But anyway, we will see you on the next video, and we'll look forward to some more coloring with these gorgeous pencils. All right, take care, everyone. Bye now.